So this episode was supposed to be my top 10 designers for spring, but I changed things up a little bit. I was looking through my collection and, well, I scrolled off. I got distracted. But instead, we're going to be doing my favorite fragrances that I look forward to rocking this spring from the house of Terence Hughes. So stay tuned. Cue that intro. What's going on, my beautiful fragrance family, and welcome back to My2Scents. I hope each and every one of you are doing awesome today. My name is Brian, and this is the channel all about helping boost your confidence through the art of fragrance and helping you become a lasting scent memory. If you've been following this channel for some time now, you know that Terence Hughes is no stranger to the channel. I freaking love Terence Hughes fragrances. I still remember the day that I picked up my first Terence Hughes haul. I sprayed my very first one, and the look on my face was epic. Blew my mind. Aaron has so many fragrances, I could literally make content with just his fragrances. I'm not going to, but I could. And Aaron definitely deserves his own spring list. Aaron does a lot of things very well. And one of those things is he makes very fresh, very projecting fragrances. I mean, his fragrances have voices, and those voices are freaking loud. I'm still working on my Rose Oud list for Terence Hughes, but I decided to go ahead and get my spring list out of the way. Before we get into my favorite Terence Hughes fragrances that I'm looking forward to rocking this spring, which ones are you looking forward to rocking this spring? And in fact, if you haven't tried any Terence Hughes, which ones are you looking forward to getting your nose on? You know what to do. But without further ado, let's go ahead and find out what these fragrances are in today's Whiffs and Sniffs. I'm going to go ahead and say this. You can get all these in 10 mLs. It is the best way to go. Best way to test drive your fragrance. All right, so this first one on my list doesn't get released until April, but I want to put it on here because, man, it is going to be a big seller for Aaron because it is fantastic. It's mass appealing. It's projecting. It's handsome. It's Guapo. So this, I don't know exactly when in April this gets released, but it gets released in April. Guapo, it's very handsome. It is meant for a signature scent. It is meant for a confident man because this is a confident boosting fragrance if I've ever smelled one. It starts out with a bunch of citrus and a beautiful creamy bergamot. I think there's also clementine in here. The bergamot that he got for this is creamy, it's sweet, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. The way that it blends with the rest of the citrus creates an amazing opening. This is actually Aaron's first vetiver heavy fragrance, vetiver based fragrance, and you get a beautiful vetiver. This is also going to be a creamy, green, clean vetiver, and that mixed in with ambroxan makes this thing a freaking beast. The ambroxan is blended in with some other woods. I think you get a little bit of vanilla, some coumarin in there, and a bit of patchouli. But man, this thing is fantastic, and I am so excited for you guys to get your nose on it. I think this is going to be the same price range as Legend and Maverick. Man, this is his most mass appealing fragrance while not smelling like a designer fragrance. If anything, this smells very unique, but it's very, very mass appealing and very attention getting. Very long lasting, very projecting. It's very, very everything. It is definitely leans very masculine, but man, I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to see what I'm saying, but coming up in April, you're going to want to keep your eye out for Guapo. All right, so this next one is one that I would wear as a single guy, and I'm looking at going out, you know, hitting the town, hitting the streets. I'm single and ready to mingle. I want to meet some ladies, and it's going to be Maverick. So I know some of you guys are probably wondering what's the difference between this Maverick and the original Maverick. Well, if you haven't seen my comparison video yet, I'll leave a card right here for you. Go check that out. But honestly, if you have the OG Maverick, I'm not saying you got to go rush out and get this one, because the biggest difference is performance and longevity. This is just a higher concentration, so you're looking at a 25% concentration. He didn't reformulate this one, he just made it louder and prouder. But Maverick, man, I love this fragrance. And this, for those ladies out there, if there's any ladies watching, this is 100% unisex. Greta loves this fragrance. And I totally understand why she does, because man, this thing is gorgeous. It starts out with some citrus. I think you're gonna get some mandarin, some bergamot, a little lemon in there, and then you roll into this beautiful heart. of plum. And the plum just adds a nice fruity sweetness to the heart notes. You're gonna get some vanilla, you're gonna get some tonka bean, and then the full dry down, you're gonna get some musks and woods. And the woods that you're really gonna get are gonna be white woods, like cedar. And they're not heavy woods, they're nice soft woods, but they give the base a nice oomph. Like, it gives it a nice backbone for everything else to kind of meld on top of. But like I said before, if you have the original, don't feel like you gotta run out and get this one. Biggest difference is longevity and projection. And that's it. So run through your first bottle and then go ahead and get yourself this one. Or if you want to keep the other one for, I don't know, a keepsake, or if you're a collector like me and you want the original, then definitely go out, pick this one up. This is one that I definitely am going to enjoy rocking this coming spring. I think it's going to be a banger. I'm single and looking to mingle, man. This is gonna be my ride or die right here. I love iris. I love orris. I like that nice powdery, makeup-y, creamy orris. So you know which one's coming up next. It's gonna be Homme. Freaking amazing signature scent. The orris concrete, and I've said this repetitively, I'm gonna say it again. The orris concrete that Aaron put together for this is freaking incredible. If you like that makeup-y iris that's in Dior Homme, the original, I'm not talking about like the new 2020 batch, I'm talking about the original, then you're gonna love this. If you like Givenchy Gentleman, the iris in that, you're gonna stinking love this. It's a very simplistic note breakdown. You're gonna have orris, you're gonna have amber, you're gonna have tonka, you're gonna have vanilla, some musks, and some very clean musks, and a nice woody base. Homme is one of the best iris notes that I've smelled in a very, very long time. This gets really good performance. I get 8 hours out of it. It projects quite heavily within the first couple hours, and then it sits closer to my skin. But the whole day, you have a beautiful sillage. The scent trail on this thing is intoxicating. It's alluring. It's just an all-around beautiful fragrance. So next up is gonna be TERENCE Hughes Homme. One of my favorites. Right, coming up next is Adonis. Another great signature scent, another great one for the spring and summer. Now, the reason that this is going to be so amazing in the spring is it has this really nice bergamot and peppermint combo up top. So it's cooling, it's refreshing, it's spicy, it's minty, and it's very well put together because the bergamot in this, the way that he combines it, creates a extremely creamy and minty opening. As the heart comes flowing in, you're gonna get a little bit of vanilla, you get some patchouli in the base, and ambroxan to give it some oomph, to give it some lasting power, and that's exactly what this does. This thing lasts for frickin' ever. Last time I clocked it at 10 hours. And it was still going. I had to wash it off. I had something else to do. An awesome, long-lasting signature scent. It's refreshing, but it's spicy. It's woody, but it's fresh and clean. Incredible fragrance. Never gets talked about, actually. From everybody who talks about TERENCE Hughes fragrances, Adonis is the one that really kind of falls by the wayside. I highly suggest checking it out. I think it's 1000% worth a whiff and sniff. If you're looking for a great signature scent, if you don't mind minty fragrances, if you like Beach Hut, man, ooh, right here, this. Let's see, what else? Greenleaf from Parfums de Marly. Just saying, just throwing it out there. So next up on my list, had to be on here, it's Adonis. Right, this next one is a Jasmine lover's dream. And I love jasmine. I love indolic jasmine. I love sweet jasmine, I like spicy jasmine, and this has all of the above in it. And this one is Jasmine Narcotique. Now, Jasmine Narcotique, this is just a buttload of jasmine. You're gonna have, I do believe, South African jasmine. You have jasmine sambac. He created this really nice fruity jasmine tea accord. So it's jasmine, jasmine, jasmine. And you do get that indolic, undertones from the jasmine sambac. But it also has night blooming jasmine, which is one of my favorite jasmines of all time. It smells so gorgeous, and it definitely permeates through in this little bad boy right here. You also get a little bit of rose in there, and that's just, helping support all the jasmine that's going on. And then you're gonna get ambery musks and some really nice ambery musks. So they're sweet and resinous, and the musks are nice and clean, and they really help push through and allow that jasmine to do exactly what the jasmine needs to do. It needs to be sweet, it needs to be spicy, it needs to be fruity, and it needs to be indolic, which indolic means it's got a little bit of an animalic quality, a little pissy, some will say. This doesn't smell like piss. Though I could see some people thinking it smells like piss, but whatever. It doesn't smell like piss. This is definitely one I suggest test driving first. But Jasmine Narcotique is a white floral lover's dream. And I love white florals. I love jasmine. I own a jasmine plant. It's sitting in my living room. This is a nice long-lasting white floral. I get a good 8 to 10 hours out of it. It's got good performance. It has a great sillage. And if you love jasmine, like I've said, it's definitely one you need to check out. Jasmine Narcotique. So if I ever do go out on a date, instead of, you know, hitting the town trying to, you know, mingle with some single ladies, maybe I decide to, you know, bust out the Bumble, the Tinder, the Hinge, whatever, you know, crazy dating apps they have these days, and I start swiping. Well, if I swipe the right direction and I decide to go out on a date, I'm gonna be rocking this Raw Cherry. You know, I'm very surprised that none of you have asked me to review Raw Cherry, but that's okay. I see how it is. Just kidding. Raw Cherry is fantastic. If you are a lover of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and ladies, if there's any ladies watching this, if you do love Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, you're gonna love this more. Why? This thing freaking lasts. You might become anosmic to it, because I do. You know, about after 4 or 5 hours into it, sometimes even quicker than that. I don't really smell it anymore, but everybody else around me does. You're gonna get this really nice mandarin orange up top. You get some cherry liqueur. You get some nice dark raw cherry. You get some vanilla. There's some heliotrope or some almond. Oh no, actually, I think it's not just almond. I think it's an amaretto note. So you get a little slight booziness. You get some chocolate. You get some oud. You get some rose. Need I say more? I mean, doesn't that sound freaking delicious? Because it is. This is a cherry lover's dream, but it's not just cherry. If you like a nice boozy fragrance with that, you know, nice amaretto in there, which is actually just adding in like a creamy nuttiness to it, like a nice almondy nuttiness to it. And then the oud, not animalic, it's sweet. It adds a little bit of a powdery woody quality to it. The vanilla is freaking amazing, and the rose is not overpowering. It's actually really blended in there to support the cherry. This thing is awesome. Ladies, if you're looking at, you know, changing things up, maybe you kind of want to just savor your Tom Ford Lost Cherry, or maybe you're just not happy with the performance and you want to trade it in, check out Raw Cherry. Guys, if you like cherry fragrances, just check out Raw Cherry. Last but not least is actually my scent of the day. And I've had this on now for 9 hours. And it's freaking crazy how it's still permeating and projecting off my skin. And it's Ozone. This is the very first, I think this is the very first Terence Hughes fragrance that I ever put my nose on. When I did that haul, I think this is the first one that I sprayed. It was either this or Neon. I don't know. I love Ozone. So this is actually the reason I don't know if I'm going to pick up Beach Hut Man. I have been sampling Beach Hut Man, and if you don't believe me, it's right here, all right? I've been sampling that and Meander. But this, I think, is the reason I'm not going to get Beach Hut Man. Beach Hut Man has that nice citrus. It's minty. You know, it's got that, you know, kind of classic style fougere style to it. This doesn't. Well, it sort of does have that classic style fougere, but much more modern. Way more modern. So this starts out with lime, and then you get spearmint. And the spearmint is so uplifting in this. It is very calming and relaxing, but it smells so good. It's creamy. Also get this nice coconut in here, which is adding to the creaminess, and you actually get a little bit of that coconutty, you know, scent. That whole opening kind of rolls into this beautiful salty and sweet ambergris. You get this beautiful green creamy patchouli. There's some driftwood in here and some clean musks, and a buttload of clean musks. Man, this thing freaking lasts, and this thing projects. If you live in like warmer climates, this is going to be perfect for the spring. If you live in a, you know, cooler, colder climates, it's going to be too much for you. But in the heat, man, this thing is a banger. And again, this is probably going to be the reason I don't get Beach Hut Man, because this is a lot louder, a lot longer lasting, and Beach Hut Man is a long lasting fragrance. Now, they don't smell that similar, but this, I like this scent profile better. There's something that Beach Hut Man does as it's starting to dry down that just kind of turns on my skin. This doesn't. This is hyper mass appealing, like hyper mass appealing. It is so projecting, and it smells so good. It's going to be hard for people to say that you smell bad. In fact, every time I've worn this fragrance, it's definitely got me attention. Every time I spray it and I wear it, I always forget how freaking loud this thing is. This is like Roseanne Barr of fragrances. Like, rah! That's this. It's very loud. It's very projecting. Everybody can hear you. Everybody can smell you. And I love it. Ozone is the last up on my list. Why? It is just a straight up banger. It smells fantastic. It's super mass appealing. Can be worn in pretty much every casual occasion. I wouldn't necessarily wear this like at a formal event or in a suit and tie, though you could. But man, this is good. I don't know what else to say about it. So I'm going to leave it there. All right, there it is, guys. Those are my 7 favorite Terence Hughes fragrances that I'm going to be rocking this spring. Let me know what yours are. I'm always curious to know what you're going to be rocking. Let me know how excited you are about getting Guapo, because I'm excited for you. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's content, then do me a favor and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And always remember, you're stinking beautiful. And until next time, happy scent trails.